after this. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining. And we're going to start in just a couple of minutes. I think you'll have fun. But in the meantime, Jake and I are just talking about how Zoom and Spotify should do a partner deal. So if you guys have friends at Zoom or Spotify, send them a clip of this recording when we send it to you, and maybe they'll do it.
Yeah, imagine hooking up your favorite playlists or your Friday jams for a webinar that you're running.
It's like native integrations. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right. Take a look at this and look at this thing going. Folks, if you can hear Jake and I, can you just put hell yeah or yes or hi people in the chat?
There it is. All right,
there we go.
Yes.
Okay, super. Super, thank you. This is fantastic. Okay, we're going to give people one more minute and then we're going to start.
Yeah, starting to fill up here. Happy Friday, everyone.
Okay. All right. There's hell yeah in the Q&A. All right, people are rolling in.
Ty's talking about happy hour already. Isn't he on the West Coast too? So he's like 3 hours behind me.
Is somebody happy? Oh, okay. Is Ty putting some kind of a payment link that we can use? I wonder what he's getting payments for. Hey, Chris, yeah, if you want to post this in the general channel, you're welcome to. And that link will actually post it anyway. We'll bring everybody in right now. So thanks for doing that. All right, we're just gonna give people one more minute and then we'll get this show on the road.
Wow, it just filled up really fast within the last minute. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, I realized we're actually one slide ahead. All right, let's start this show. What do you think, Jake?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody, this is Asher. I'm one of the founders at Partnership Leaders, and I'm super fortunate to actually do this session with you because one of the things that we have been asked for over and over again in the, I would say the last 6 weeks or so, or maybe the last 2 months or so, or maybe it was a trend this year, was how do I get the most out of my PL membership? And the reason why this question has been asked is because we have over the years added a bunch of new features. And then what we realized, and again, we're an early stage company, right? Or an early stage community. What we realized is we actually need to share how do you use these features to get the benefits out, right? Alongside me today is another very well-known person in partnerships, Jake Wallace. Jake, you want to say hi to folks?
Oh, Asher, you're too kind, man. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on a Friday afternoon. Yeah, my name is Jake Wallace, and I head up our technology partnerships at TrustPod. I am also helping with partnership leaders on member success, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of this fine community that has helped me over the years. So looking forward to this and many more interactions with folks here and in the community.
Super. So folks, as we go through this presentation, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Jake's there. If we aren't able to answer the questions in chat, we will send the answers out. Also, this meeting is being recorded, so we'll send the recording link out as well. And we'll probably actually put it on the PL YouTube so folks can take a look at it later on. But we'll be doing more of these throughout the year, because as new features of PL come up, we'll actually show you how to use them, and at least first just inform you that they're available. So with that said, let's get started. What we're going to cover today is what is PL, how did it start, why does it exist, and what is the value that I can get out from it, right? Like what was the original value that we thought we could share with folks. Then we'll go into into getting to value section, which I'll actually talk about all the use cases, i.e. all the things that people have asked for. And then I'll also talk about the features that PL offers, and then where can you go to get more info, right? Then after that, I'll talk about the member journey. So we have some folks that have been with PL for 3 years now. We have some folks that have just started as recently as this morning in this session. And so we'll talk about the member journey. Then we'll talk a little bit about next steps. There's a few things that I would love for you and me and Jake to do while we're on this session. And then from there, we'll wrap up with a little bit of info about Catalyst, which is a big event, which we are doing for all of us and all of you. And so with that agenda, let's get started with why does PL exist? And the reason why Partnership Leaders exists is because 3 years ago, when we did this search for technology partnerships, there were 4.5 billion results and no place for leaders of partnerships teams. Yeah. Chris was kind enough to actually send an email out to who we called the original 12 and asking them to like collaborate. And, we'll actually show that email at some point in time in one of these presentations too. But from there started this Slack channel, which in the first 3 months of its existence had 900 people. At that point, we had to make a decision of who do we serve. And then we decided to go serve the leaders first, because if we believe that if we served you first, then you could serve your teams. And because of that interactions, the leaders would do better in their personal, professional lives, and the teams that report to them would do better in their personal, professional lives. So this is one of the searches that we did. I actually took a screenshot of it, and I'm sharing this with you. And we've actually saved these screenshots from when we started. But that's actually how it started, Jake.
Yeah, I could be more thrilled. I mean, I've been in partnerships for actually just about 10 years now. And, thankfully, having community as a resource for the last 5 years has been a game changer. I can remember being lonely on that island within my own company's org, trying to figure out partnerships. But, having community here and all of us that understand what we're going through and a resource at literally my fingertips has been nothing short of amazing.
Super. Well, let's go to the next slide, right? So when we first started, there were 2 things that was needed. One of them was advice, right? And we took a hard look at when we give this advice to you, if you were to go get this advice from other places outside of this community, what would the monetary cost look like and what would the time look like, right? And so if you went to like GLG or Alpha Sites or any of these other places, right, they would easily charge you $1,000 an hour, and then they'll go hunt for people like who are in this community to then go have a conversation with you so you could get your advice, right? That's one very popular way that people get advice, right? The other way would be that you would have to go on LinkedIn, or you would have to go phone a friend, everything that is time consuming, or you would have to like use these time consuming ways to go get this advice. And so the basic thing that PL does is it shortens the cycle to shortens the path to advice. And so when we did this survey early on, right, we realized that 91% of our members reported making a better decision after having a conversation in the community. As recently as like 2 weeks ago, one of the members said, hey, you know what I do now? I just go to LinkedIn, and then I look for the person, and then I go in PL, and I see if they're there, and then I just write them a nice note, and then I just sit back and wait, and people respond back, and because we've created this amazing culture of collaboration, people respond, and that's helped me make progress in my professional life. But here's a screenshot of one of our early members, Travis, who's actually helping somebody out. As you guys remember, and you already have access to Slack, you'll see that the Slack channels, when people ask questions, they're very thoughtful responses. So the advice was one of the key features that we or the needs that PL served in the beginning. The second was actually connection. And like when we started, like folks would ask for like, hey, does somebody know somebody here? Does somebody know somebody there? And we would actually go and make connections live. Our goal by the way, with this advice and this connection combo was, can we return 10x value for what you paid for, right? And many of you folks are paying either $600 a year, which is the annual fee, or you're paying $1,200 a year, which is the monthly fee, if you paid monthly. And so our belief is that by just providing you the advice and providing you the access to connections or vetted connections, right, that we are offering 10x value for what you're paying for. Jake, did you know this before?
I certainly believe it, and I've seen it firsthand. I mean, just this week, somebody posted about, again, same use case, looking, hey, does anybody have a contact at XYZ company? And I saw that and I tagged 3 or 4 people, and literally within minutes, those folks responded back saying, hey, yeah, I got somebody for you. So, I mean, this happens daily.
Super. So we just didn't stop there, right? And because everything that we do at Partnership Leaders, it comes from our members. Everything that you ask us, we actually listen to it. We think about how we can deliver it. And because of that, all of these things came into existence. And so when we studied the journeys of our members, right, the most popular use cases were, hey, where do I go to ask a question about something in partnerships? Or is there an industry update that I can use to further my conversations internally about partnerships? Or are there some market updates, right? And so for us, that experience where we can answer questions, share industry updates, share market updates is Slack. And you all should be in Slack already. If you're having trouble accessing Slack, or you want to change the email that you sign up with Slack for, you can email info@partnershipleaders.com, and the amazing Deanne will actually help you get those questions answered. Then, because we were early on, right, and we were actually helping make the right matches with people who were to be mentors or people who wanted to meet new people and discuss different perspectives of partnerships, we needed to go and start a matchmaking service. And so today we use Meetsy. If you want to go sign up for Meetsy, and if you aren't already signed up for Meetsy, I'm sure most people are, but if you aren't, the link to sign up for Meetsy is there. Then,
Asher, I can't stress that enough. Like the Meetsy platform and the matchmaking in general has been a game changer. We all know what we've all been through for the last 2+ years. Thankfully, everybody's getting out and going in person. But even then, I've met so many people with just being really, because we're all bogged down by meetings internally and working on our own partner programs and things like that. But being able to be matched automatically and then joining those 30-minute sessions have been amazing experiences, and I've met so many people through that. So if you haven't already, please definitely create that profile, get on that matchmaking service, because just 30 minutes a week meeting somebody new could be a game changer.
I won't name the member because of privacy, but like somebody actually very originally, when we first started, right, told me that they did 4 Meetsies and then got enough content to go build an entire partner program and then launched it. And it was like this 2 hours that I spent saved me like 20 hours that I would have spent, and maybe another 5 hours of approvals that I would have needed. And so I thought that was a super cool story around just matchmaking with people. And the matchmaking is actually super customizable, right? So like if you want to meet leaders, you can only meet leaders. If you want to meet rockstar individual contributors to understand like tactics that they're using, you can do that. If you want to use if you want to do it topic based, you can do it topic based. So there's multiple different configurations depending upon your need that you can use Meetsy for. I can see there's some questions in the chat, Jake. Like, should we take a couple of them, or you've got them handled?
Yeah, no, I got them handled. But it certainly, like as Chris mentioned, we have these tools that are helping with member experience, but we're also open for feedback. If
Yeah.
you ever have any feedback about any of the tools that we've deployed, let us know. We're obviously we've got member
Yeah.
experience at the heart here, so that's definitely one that we want to know more about.
And our main man Jake is actually going to work on all this stuff for you all. So I'm super excited, by the way, to have Jake on. All right, let's go to the next part, right? So as we went through our journey, right, we realized that we actually needed to help partnership leaders build their brand, because the world does not know the stories of why we do partnerships. Why did we take these leadership positions on? What are our backgrounds? What are the experiences that allowed us to come to this place? Because partnerships, as we all know, is a very cross-functional role. And so understanding and sharing the stories that help people understand who we are and also uplifting your brand became a priority for us, right? And so we started doing blogs. We started doing interviews. And so if you want to be a part of a blog series, or you want to be interviewed, please email marketing@partnershipleaders.com. And we have the amazing Cass who manages our content strategy, and she will bring you in as the marketing opportunity comes up. Then if you want to want to learn about our virtual events, or actually be part of a virtual event, right? We do these virtual events because we want you to get inspiration from other members' journey. Some of us are early stage companies, some of us are at late stage companies, but all of us can learn from each other, because the I would say scrappiness that the early stage partnership leader has to internalize and use can sometimes be used by folks at the late stage companies. Definitely right now, when everything is all about efficient growth, the late stage guys could absolutely learn a thing or two from the early stage folks. And so we do these virtual events on different topics. And if you want to learn more about them, you can go to the Slack channel number 5 _PL-events, and you can learn more about all of our virtual events. Then as we were progressing, folks said, hey, I want to go hire people now, right? Where do I post a job? And could there be a job board for all of the recs we have? So this was an interesting situation, because our job board is probably, actually our job channel in Slack also is probably one of the most active channels, period, right? Because we're all leaders, and we have individual contributors that we need, or team members that we need to hire, right? And we need to cultivate them so that they can become future leaders, right? And so we want our jobs to be posted out. And so the job board in Slack is one place where you can list your job, or you can actually just go to our job board, and posting a job for our members is free. And you can post as many as you want, and we will then market those jobs for you. Right? Our LinkedIn followers is probably one of the fastest growing LinkedIn followers in this entire space. And so our reach, based on our own efforts and the stuff that we do with some of our sponsors, is pretty wide. And so we will definitely get your job in front of lots and lots of people.
Pro tip, Asher, if you tag partnership leaders, it's a great name.
Oh, yeah,
in any posts, whether it be looking for new teammates, filling a job, or any content around partnerships, you tag partnership leaders, we will for sure amplify that to the rest of the community.
I'm so glad you said that. So hashtag partnerships and tagging partnership leaders in your LinkedIn post will amplify it all the time. Now, right now, actually, and thanks to Ty, by the way, right now we have like 24/7 marketing running, and which is like absolutely amazing to see. And so we will amplify your message. Okay, let's go to the next one, because this is actually super duper cool, because Chris actually came up with this idea, and then we all said, well, I don't know if this is a great idea or not, but then it became this amazing resource for people, right? And so so the ecosystem catalog is the single resource where we are putting lots and lots of energy around to make sure that you all can find the best-in-class tools and the best-in-class service providers to help grow your partnerships function. If you were to go talk to any, let's call it management consultant, they will say, your world, Mr. Partnerships Leader, is broken into people, process, technology, and data. And so to stand those technologies up and to find those technologies, either our ecosystem catalog is the single resource for you all. And if you have more technologies that you aren't that aren't listed there, feel free to send an email to info@partnershipleaders.com or drop a Slack message to Jake or Deanne, and we'll go and get those technologies and those service providers listed. But we've done a pretty good job of like listing many of the tools that we're all using that will support you.
Also, if you're considering tools, definitely, yeah, your first step is to go check out the catalog, because we've got some unique deals and pricing opportunities through this catalog as well. So it's definitely beneficial to go to this catalog first and foremost when seeking new tools to grow your team, your program.
Super. All right, the next one is another thing that like came up, because our goal as a community is to focus on your professional and your personal success. Personal success, at least in my humble opinion, is all about financial freedom, because that's what we all strive to do at some level, right? And it was interesting because when we started and we polled the community, not everybody was taking advantage or had access to investments. And so we said, let's go figure out a way to create Partnership Leaders Investments, which is a syndicate program that allows us to join institutional investors in hard investments. So as some of you probably know, I don't think most of you know, but we were investors in Crossbeam, we were investors Partnered, we were investors in Collabi most recently, right? And so we have a list of investments that we want to go do, but we want to do it together, right? And the beautiful part of this is that when we do an investment, we actually invite the CEO of the company to come speak to our members and then educate them on the space and educate them on the niche and educate them on why their company is doing amazing things for our market. But it's a collaborative process, right? Which means that if you have never invested in a early stage company, you can learn from other people that are regular investors, right? But then the regular investors can then connect with not regular, but maybe like experienced investors can connect with other experienced investors and then share tips. But net, we created this for you because we said, if we can bring some of the hottest partner tech companies in to our community and allow us to be part of their journey, then we can support them. And then there's this win-win-win that takes place. And that's what Partnership Leaders Investments does for us. Jake, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, no, one question was if you hear of any interested tools that may be looking for investment, where would one point them?
Yeah, so there is a PLI section on our website. The founders of that company or the management teams of that company can go straight to our website. And actually, when we send this out, I'll actually put that link right here, so that if you know of somebody who's looking for funding, or you're like, hey, this is really awesome company, we should get into it, you can just advise that those folks go onto our website. They can request for more information, and then our investment team will actually work with them and make sure that we vet them, by the way, right? Like we get a lot of investment requests, but we want to make sure that the investments we bring to you are quality investments and have been vetted. And so that's the process to send to a founder or the C-suite of a potential investment.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Ty, for dropping the link there in the chat as well.
I love how collaborative this whole presentation is. Yeah, that's the beauty of Partnership Leaders. Like, everybody just builds this thing together. By the way, I'll point this out. Almost all of these features were built by a partnerships leader. Like, one of us came in and said, I'm going to volunteer my time and help build this thing out. And that, to me, just speaks the volume of like the success that we've had, and then what else we can do in the future. But let's go to the next feature. So if you wanted to find members in your country or your city, you can look at the member directory. We just revamped the member directory to make it an amazing interactive experience right in Slack. And so when you click on this link, you can go in, you can look at your profile, you can set it up, you can read some announcements in the member directory. Also, there is an amazing map that shows you where all of our members are. So you can see if you are on the East Coast, how many members are on the East Coast, and then you can zoom into the city and then you can see how many members are there. And then, you can do meetups and stuff there.
Yeah, pro tip. Once you do create a profile in the member directory, that will automatically show in your Slack profile. So if somebody were to click on your name, just below your picture there's a link for member directory. So somebody will be able to click that and get more information about you.
Super. All right. Now, if you wanted to meet leaders in person, or you wanted to meet future leaders and thought leaders in person, we have our very first in real life experience conference coming to you all in the month of August. We'll talk a little bit about this towards the end of the session. But for those of you who are like, I really want to go find out more information about it, you can go to joincatalyst.com right now. But probably pay attention to this presentation because I have some more interesting information to share with you. So after all you've got all these features, right? Maybe you're thinking, well, it would be great to get a summary of the top content, right? And to enable that, we created the newsletter, and every single member is automatically subscribed to the newsletter. You're going to need to make sure that like our newsletter does not go into your spam, because sometimes we have that issue, although we recently just made a fix that shouldn't be happening anymore. But just check your spam folder to make sure that our newsletters aren't getting stuck in there, and just mark them as safe. But there is a monthly summary of all the top content that we are engaged with as a community that we summarize, and then we send it over to you. More to that, we actually have a weekly newsletter as well. And we send this weekly newsletter, and we call it PLDR, and it was basically a pun on TLDR. And this weekly newsletter covers like some industry topics, and then covers some more interesting news outside of just tech around partnerships. But it's meant to be a fun, lively newsletter that will inform you of things that are happening either in the market or in other industries that you may not already know of. And then it also highlights a few things. So for that, there is a link here. Also, I believe most of our members are automatically subscribed to it, but it's a newsletter that you can actually share with your other friends too. Because the member newsletter only comes to you, but the weekly newsletter you can share with other people. And so we highly encourage you to go and if you like the content in PLDR and you want to share it with other people, you can literally just forward that email. But if you're not signed up on it, then you can go sign up via this link. Jake, how are we doing on questions?
Yeah, no, so we're pretty good on questions. One thing I wanted to mention, going back to just setting up your profile real quickly, is one thing also is add us to your LinkedIn profile. And really add partnership leaders. You're a member, and we also have some templated bullet points that we could share with you as well in the description of that. Once you add it to your LinkedIn profile. So that I've actually seen quite useful in terms of searching through LinkedIn as well for fellow members, because it'll actually have everybody that is a part of Partnership Leaders as a head count there as well.
So what's interesting about that feature, Jake, is I spoke with 2 recruiting firms, and there were executive recruiting firms in the last month who basically said, when we're looking for partnerships leaders, we actually first go look for partnership leaders, the community. And if that is a role on that person's LinkedIn, we just prioritize them, because we know that those folks cared about their professional and personal success enough to go and join a community and learn and have access to some resources. So that was actually a super duper interesting thing that happened. And I promise everybody that we'll make this a little bit more interactive. So we'll actually do this together in a couple of slides. But let me talk about the last feature on this slide. which is actually something that we discovered yet again through another member, right? We realized that some companies aren't big fans of Slack because they're running teams. And partnership teams from one company where they're running Slack and who want to partner with another company where they're running teams, there's this incompatibility issues that are coming in. And so for those companies, if you are a team of partnerships pros who wants to work with another team of partnership pros at another company where they won't allow Slack, you can actually use our Slack. We will create private channels for you that will be owned by you, right? Or your company. We'll remove all of the PL staff out of it so that you can then have this direct one-to-one conversation. And the cool thing about that is, I think we have like 4 or 5 of them going on right now. But the cool thing about that is not only do you have access to the other partner teams in our Slack instance, but you also have resources where if both of you were stuck on a question, you could search in our Slack because somebody's already answered that question in the past, or if they haven't, then you can just ask the question. And then when you ask the question, you'll have a lot of other pros, partner pros that will come in and answer them.
Yeah, I can't stress enough having these, shared Slack Connect channels with our teams has been amazing. The ability to have another channel to get, on demand, real life, questions answered rather than having to wait in an email and whatnot. And for us, to having the ability to continue to provide that, even though there's obviously other options besides Slack out there, that's hugely beneficial.
Super. So if the last 2 slides did not give you 10x value, I'm pretty positive this slide definitely gave you 10x value. So, but we're not stopping here, right? We're going to the next slide, right? So I've been spending some time with a lot of our members just to understand how they use our features. And then what does the journey look like, right? So if you just started with us, I want to thank you for taking the time and to join us, right? And then be on this journey with us, right? But you're probably a beginner with us, right? And then you're going to go and look at all of our features, try to set them all up and experience them. Then as you become more experienced with us and you move to the intermediate stage, we probably could do a better job at like naming the stages, but as you become more seasoned with us, then you'll pick your features, right? And then when you get to the advanced stage, then you'll know your 2 or 3 features that you just bank on, and you know that you're already getting enough value from the emails that we're sending out, and then you just care about 1 or 2 features. So the folks that have been with us for almost 3 years now a lot of them are actually in this advanced bucket, and we track usage, we track engagement. And what we're trying to do over here is just trying to make sure that we demonstrate how you can get value over the years, right? So, and one stat I'll share with you, our engagement in our community is, I want to say, like 67 or 70% week over week. And it's been like that for a very long time. Normally what happens is when communities become bigger, the engagement goes lower and lower and lower. But because of the culture that we have, because of the code of conduct that we all abide with, because of our generosity to like help each other, we've been able to keep that engagement level really high. So I want to thank all of you for that. But the member journey starts with looking at everything, picking a few things, and then the pro status journey actually gets you to a few features. Also, one big thing that we did this week, we just launched this, it was a big request that took us some time to launch, was role-based channels, right? Because VPs want to talk with other VPs. People that want to be VPs want to talk with other people who want to be VPs without their VPs there, right? And so we did role-based channels. We have a channel called Chief, which is for C-suite and EVP. We have a channel called Veep, which is inspired by the TV show. And it's for VP and SVP level folks. And then we have a channel called Leaders, which is for folks that are managers, heads of, directors. And I want to give a shout out to our current member, Ken Cohen, who actually like pushed us to get this thing done. And that's what we have to offer. So I'll pause there, Jakes, to see if you have any commentary or if there's any questions in the chat box.
Yeah, so one of the questions is, what if one member, they joined as a single member,
Yep.
but what about options for bringing on their team members?
Yeah, fantastic question. And this has been true to our journey, because what happens is one member joins and then they talk with other people about this resource and other members want to join. So we have a team member option, and we can actually serve some people on your team, or we can serve your entire team. So I want to give a shout out to like Content Square, who's been one of our early members, Twilio, Qualtrics. Like these companies have their entire teams in PL, and then they're networking with other folks. So if you want to bring your entire team or some other people on your team, we can work with you on a team membership. You just drop an email to info@partnershipleaders.com, and one of our team members will connect with you and walk you through the process.
Awesome. Well, we have another question from Trent.
Okay.
How do we best engage with the community as a service provider? We are a large digital marketing agency.
Yep. Okay. So if you are a large digital marketing agency and you're a service provider, right? The first thing what you should do is you should make sure that your profile in the ecosystem catalog is up to date. And then the second thing you can do is you can help, because you're a service provider. You are meeting with many partnership teams and helping them on with marketing campaigns or other things. Maybe you're helping them with setting up their tools. You can share best practices of what you're learning, either in the programs channel or in the tools channel or even in the general channel, right? But think about what can you give from your experiences with all of your customers that will help the leaders of these teams or the future leaders in the community advance themselves. And if you answer that question correctly, you will always put content out in the community that will help people by virtue of that. Now, I also want to realize that there's like a commercial interest in that question, right? But if you help people that way, then those folks who are struggling with like graduating to the next level of people, process, technology, and data will not automatically come to you for guidance. And then that's where your company can actually have a commercial opportunity. Anything else, Jake?
Nope, that's it right now.
Okay. Let's go to the next steps. All right. So I said we would be a little interactive in this session. And one of the first things I would love for you to do is right now, go to the Partnership Leaders company page on LinkedIn. If you just search Partnership Leaders in LinkedIn, you will land on our company page. Just follow it, because we are putting lots of content on LinkedIn because it's one of our primary marketing channels. I want to make sure you get it. And so again, if you go to LinkedIn, go to Partnership Leaders company page and just hit follow, and you'll get that. Then, like Jake was saying early on, add Partnership Leaders as a role on LinkedIn. You can take a look at my profile. It's Asher Matthew on LinkedIn, or you can look at Chris Abilla's profile, or you can look at Ty Pradiga's profile, or look at Jake's profile, right? We all have a wording there that you can copy and paste and just add a role on LinkedIn. And then this is for the brave people on the call right now, right? And I did this early on too, and it was actually a lot of fun. But if you really liked what you heard today, I would love for you to just write a quick 5-second or 10-second post about your experience in Partnership Leaders on LinkedIn, and maybe tag 2 friends, and definitely tag Partnership Leaders in it. The reason why I'm telling you to do this is because even though we're at about 1,000 members, there's 2 million of us out there that need help. And the burden of making sure they're educated and then they find success is on all of us, just the same way that the original 12 who helped us get started, took the risk, took the effort, supported us all to get us to this point. So if you loved what you saw today and what you heard today, please write a short post, tag 2 friends, tag Partnership Leaders, and then we'll amplify it, and we can make it Partnership Leaders Friday today. And then the last one is always use the hashtag partnerships for posts on LinkedIn, because that is the industry hashtag. And then as you build your brand, you want other partnership professionals to like respond to your posts. That's what'll get you there. So I hope that the session today helped you understand how we started, why we started, help you understand how we generate value for you, help you understand how we generate 10x value for you. And we give you a few next steps that you can do to get engaged and get started, whether you are a beginning with us or you are a pro with us. So with that, let me just go through a couple other slides. I'm super excited that Jake joined us to focus on member success. He comes with tons and tons of experience in helping build communities. And so his role is going to be focused on helping us all succeed. If you have needs where you are like, hey, I want more features from this community, or there are a few new ideas if we could do them, Jake is the right person to talk to. If you have questions about features of PL, or just stuck, or just want information, or you have a billing issue, Deanne is there. Deanne's been with us from the beginning as well. And so between these two folks, we'll be able to better serve you as we scale this community out. Then when I send this to you, there is a directory of all the channels, and there's descriptions. And the link that we send to you, right? Please bookmark that link, because that link will never change. It's a universal link. And when you hit that link, you will always get the latest version of this presentation. And we just launched regional channels. The regional channels are designed so that you could find people who are in your location easily, and you can have a conversation with them, or set up lunch or dinners or meetups. So this is another new thing that we've got going on. And then lastly, our conference. Like I said, everything that we do is member driven. And last year we did an event in New York, which is super popular. And from there was a bunch of requests around doing an in real life experience, but we'll do it a bit, rather than a happy hour, do a full day event. So we're actually doing a 2-day event in Miami on August 24th and 25th. We call it Catalyst because I believe this is what partnership leaders are all about. We are catalysts for change in organizations. And based on what's happened in the last 2 years, and based on what we've seen in the first half of the year, it's time that we focused on writing the next chapter. And so we're going to talk about how do we get to where we are today, and what does the next chapter look like? And I know there's some uncertainty in the marketplace, and we'll talk about that over there too. But if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, or you're really interested in finding more information about this event, please go to www.joincatalyst.com, and we'll hope to see you there. With that, Jake, do we have questions, commentary? You want to throw some stuff in? Got more pro tips?
Just from on the Catalyst note, I think a lot of teams are coming down together and actually, using that time for team building events or partner summits or anything like that. So if you guys have interest in joining us down in Miami, please consider bringing your whole team. Creating those type of connections. A lot of us are working remotely, and quite often don't get together as much as we had in the past. So that's also really the opportunity for Catalyst is to get your team together in person as well.
Yeah, team offsites, like get them together, because Catalyst could serve as the H2 kickoff, right? And again, if you need more info, go to joincatalyst.com. We have an action-packed agenda. We've got an amazing yacht party. I'm really excited. I want to just get there now, but I'm looking forward to seeing as many of you there. We've been on this virtual journey for the last 3 years, and as many people as can make it, it'd be great to come hang out with you all. So,
sure. What session are you looking forward to? Not to put you on the spot.
I'm actually looking forward to the Path to C-Suite session, because we have a bunch of C-Suite people who have been there, done that. They've gone through this grind. They've learned how to deal with politics, right? Like they've done this before at early stage companies and at scale. Learning from those people, which is really education, which is inspired by experience, probably is the best thing that you could ever do. And so we're going to bring more and more of those people in because they will help us so that we don't make the mistakes that have already been made and learn from their experience and go get some personal professional success.
Yeah, no, definitely. One of the sessions that I'm looking forward to is the session on partner ops and reporting and tracking and all that. I think a lot of us on this call and many in the community are still trying to figure that out and crack that nut. So hopefully, you'll leave that session with several action items and key points that you could take back to your team. And that's really the basis for all of the content at Catalyst. Is we want every one of these sessions to highlight action items and key points and takeaways that you can really go back that next week and start taking action on and implementing. And that's really each and every speaker has that as part of their presentation to make sure that you leave with things that you can just really take action on as early as, that next Monday.
That's a solid point, right? When we were planning the content track, and thank you, Jake and Devin, for spearheading that too. We were super focused on making sure the content is actionable. We need tips, tricks, hacks, like whatever it is, right? We want to make sure you take that back, share it with your teams, use it themselves, and let's see if we can get you promoted over the next 6-7 months. Yeah. So any last questions in there, Jake, or are we good?
I think we're good, man.
Okay.
We must have done a really great job explaining the benefits. But if there's ever any questions offline, you know where to find us: DM and Slack, email, you name it. I mean, we're as active as can be. So, and hopefully you guys will continue to be as well.
Super. Well, I'll give you another encouragement. Please go follow us on LinkedIn and definitely write a post. But on behalf of myself, on behalf of Chris, Ty, Jake, Devin, all of the people that are spending a lot of their free time in building this thing out for you, thank you for being on this journey with us. And we can't wait to celebrate your success.